guys, Chris here with Super Savvy Travelers. Hey, today I wanted to go over a few things because, I had mentioned our little CASE Diffuse project, and I wanted to touch on the thing that the Italian government is trying to do with like the €1 Italian houses and all of the various other plans and schemes that they have. So basically what we're kind of going over here is how did Super Savvy succeed where the Italian government and the €1 Italian houses and the super bonuses and the tax giveaways and things for people moving into these hill towns, how did we succeed when they didn't? Let's look at first what the Italian government has been trying to do, especially in southern Italy. Now, back in the 1800s and the early 1900s, there was the Italian diaspora, which when a lot of Italians left the Mezzogiorno regions, which is the southern Italy part, and came over to America and set up their homes there and basically just moved. Many of them abandoned their houses in a lot of these historic centers, and you can see a lot of these abandoned houses today, and they're still there. And many of them, no one is caring for them. They are sitting there and nothing's happening. They do put some of the other buildings around them at risk because when they come down, they're attached to other buildings. So it's a whole thing where, these little hill towns and whatnot tend to be dying out. It started with the diaspora, but then again, a lot of the kids have to move north in order to find jobs and things like that. So when a relative dies, unfortunately, in these hill towns, the house just sits there and people owe taxes on it. They have to maintain it. It's a constant worry, and it's just sitting there with nothing happening to it. And this is happening all over Italy. So basically the governments have been trying to mitigate this particular problem. The problem of the emptying out of the Italian hill towns. Now, the Italian hill towns are the jewels of Italy. That's where the history is. That's where the culture is. That's where everything started from. And they are very, very precious parts of the Italian culture. So there's been a huge push to try to repopulate these hill towns. And ironically, we sort of did it almost by accident. Before COVID, we were selling cruises. Super Savvy Travelers was a travel agency. We didn't really like selling cruises. So when COVID hit, we said, well, what else can we do? And we pivoted because we have bought and sold houses in Italy before. We have renovated houses in Italy. We knew a little bit about that stuff. So we thought, well, why don't we just kind of jump in and start doing that? So needless to say, during COVID, there was this huge pent-up demand. People wanted to come over. Americans are starving for the community, for the culture, for the history, for all of the stuff that you can find in a little hill town in Italy. And who knew how many people in America and across the world were longing for this? Well, we found out in no uncertain terms as soon as Italy opened back up after COVID, because people came over in waves. Now, our little hill town, Santa Domenica Tellao, is only like 1,200 people. So all of these people came flying over, and they started snapping up all these properties. And now we have a little bit of a backlog on the renovations because so many people bought at the same time. And Antonello, God bless him, and Salvatore and these other guys are working their way through the renovations and getting things all done. But it was a massive success story. And like I said, it almost happened by accident. Nobody could have anticipated the type of response we got. But it was actually really, really easy. So we looked at that and we went, my gosh, with the tools that we have and the know-how that we have, we can do more than just one Italian hill town. We can do so much more. And in fact, if we wanted to, we could do all Italian hill towns. It's easy. We found out how to do it. So with that in mind, we have started what's called the CASE Diffuse Project, because we thought, okay, Santa Domenica did a great job there. Let's branch out a little bit. Let's see if we can get it to work in these other hill towns. And of course it will, because it's a foolproof model. So we have selected two really beautiful hill towns very close to Santa Domenica Tellao in the Pollino National Park. One of them, you will remember, is Papasidro, which we did a feature on that before we left Italy. And just a stunning little hill town with the beautiful medieval houses and a wonderful infrastructure up there. In addition, it's nestled between two forks of the River Lau, so you've got this gorgeous river running through. The views up there are spectacular, and in summer it's nice and cool, which is a very big deal. So Papasito is definitely on our radar, and in fact we've already got our first sellers coming out of the woodwork going, yeah, I've got a house. And I'm like, okay, good. Let's go in there and match you up with somebody who wants to buy your house and get it renovated, and let's do it in Papasito. Now the other hill town we are looking at is Ayeta. And just before I left, the mayor of Ayeta called me because we had gone up there and done a little feature on it during the winter. And he said, oh, I've got some houses available for you guys to look at. And I'm like, ooh, good, but we're leaving, so we'll see you in January. And he's like, okay, we can't wait. He's already got the construction teams up there ready to go. The infrastructure is fabulous. The hill town itself is absolutely stunning. And they really, really want you guys there. So we're going to take Ayeta, we're going to take Papasito, and we're going to put some people in there. And we're going to bring a little bit of life back to these beautiful, beautiful hill towns. And we're going to make the dreams of the mayors and the local populations come true, because the last thing they want is to lose their beautiful hill town with all its culture, with all its tradition, with all its history. So listen, another thing is we've had a few people contact us and going, hey, you know, we want to do what you're doing. And I'm like, great, let's pick a hill town. Pick a hill town and we'll give you the model, and gosh, you can do your own CASE DIFUSE project. Now, CASE DIFUSE basically means diffuse houses, and it comes from the idea of the albergo diffuso, which is basically a hotel that kind of, it's another idea that somebody came up with where people buy a bunch of abandoned properties in a hill town that needs a little love, and they fix it up and they turn it into a hotel. So you stay in different properties, but the hotel is all the same hotel. Well, we thought, okay, we're going to do CASE DIFUSE, not alberghi diffusi. And it looks like it's going to be a very popular idea, because we can plug in our guys, we can put you in with the networks of all of the workers, the architects, the furniture makers. Everything that we have available in Santa Dominica is available in these hill towns as well. So we've got a great group of professionals, and we were so happy with our results in Santa Dominica. We just really want to do it in some of these other hill towns that really, really want us there. So stay tuned, you guys. In January, when we are back, we are going to be boots on the ground with Antonello and everybody else, and going through these houses like we did initially at the beginning with Santa Dominica. It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun, because Antonello and I don't think we've ever had more fun in our lives than when we were going around and showing people houses and talking about renovations in these beautiful little towns. So stay tuned, you guys. We'll see you soon.